and we'll do one more. Hello. Welcome to I Turn My Podcast On, the one, the only podcast dedicated to the greatest rock band of our time, Spoon. I know that's a bold statement, but I'm here to prove it to you. That's what this podcast is all about. We're going to deep dive into every song on every release, and you'll see why, in my opinion, I can make that statement. So this is going to be a fun podcast, and this is just a little introduction episode to tell you who I am, why I'm doing this, and what you can expect. So I became a fan in 2005 when Gimme Fiction came out, and I bought Ga 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 2 years later, and I loved it. I had the albums. I had a friend burn me their first release, Telephono. Remember burning CDs? And I was a fan, and finally when I saw them in 2009 is when the fandom really took over. I went to their website. I heard lots of songs I hadn't heard before, so I wanted to get their other albums. I wanted to learn more. They had demo tracks that came out, and there was this message board, messageboard.spoontheband.com, where now I have almost, something crazy like 700, maybe over 700 posts throughout the years just talking whimsically and trading tracks and trying to keep the fandom alive and moving. And as technology moved forward, people went to Facebook groups, Reddit groups, Yahoo groups. You can get alerts. The technology is just a little bit more moving forward, whereas the message board is still beautiful. It's got a plethora of topics, but it's a little antiquated. So my goal is to unite all of these groups, old fans, new fans, where we can all get together and talk about Spoon. So just like the message board, I was not the admin, I was not the creator, but I was just a dude that liked to talk a lot about the band. And so I want to bring that energy and all these people together. And so hopefully we're going to do that. The podcast is going to work where I'm going to do album by album, track by track reviews where we do snippets and just kind of really deep dive, analyze the record. Then every episode is going to have a fan episode. So after an album review, you guys are going to hopefully write in. We're going to talk and chat about what makes the album great, what you love about it, what you hate about it. And again, it's not to be about debating or who's wrong or who's right, but I just want to be a fun time, a big, happy Spoon family. So I also have this little idea I like to call car radio episodes, which I'm going to do where we turn the car radio on, we drive, and we listen to a Spoon record. I want to get people who aren't maybe big fans, maybe know a couple songs, but so we can get honest, first-time reactions, so you can hear the band for the first time again through someone else's ears and eyes. I also have very special announcement, some band member interviews. I can't tell you exactly who, what, or when, because that won't be as fun, but they're coming. And so hopefully it's just going to be a great mix of setting the scene of the albums to where it's just kind of all a journey. I mean, I know that sounds a little bit goofy or presumptuous, but that's the goal. It's going to be fun. I'm going to bring some of my unique energy, spin on things. I feel like there's a couple stories in the band's history, whether it's the Elektra and Ron Laffitte story that's just kind of been written and talked about so much. I know that's part of their history, but there's some really interesting things that I want to talk about, how the albums get made, really dive deep into the music and those little happy accidents or things in the studio that happen that make a song come out the way it is. And I think that's what makes stories of bands fun and interesting. So we are going to do it together. And that's always been the plan. I've had these ideas in my brain forever. I've had so many cool Spoon fans give me encouragement, writing me messages saying, hey man, I can't wait for this, and so I think it's going to be great. Shout outs to Jenny Jen Jen from the Facebook group The Weird Kids Up Front. Now, don't just try to join. You got to pass the admin's test, whether you can join or not. She actually came up with this idea when I threw out there that I was making a podcast. I was trying to come up with a cool reference, but on the other hand, I wanted it to be something people could relate to, and I Turned My Camera On is one of their biggest songs, so I had some nerdier reference, deep cut ideas, but I think it's great for a name and the artwork that I kind of came up with, and I'm going to finish that up and make it nice and polished. But shout out to, man, so many other people. Ashley, Michael, Gabriel, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Blair, Farron, Pete Heron, so many people that have just said, hey man, keep going. The No Filler podcast, Quentin and Travis, they've done some episodes about Spoon albums, a couple tracks. They have a podcast called No Filler Pod. They've been super helpful with technical things and encouragement as well. So shout outs to those guys as well. So I would love it if you continue to listen, subscribe, jump on board. Tell your parents, your grandparents, just break into their iPhone. I mean, their password's probably just 1234. They've never listened to podcasts, so go in there, subscribe to it. It'd be awesome if I can get a bunch of people listening. No, I do want like genuine fans that are interested in this stuff. If it gets numbers and listens, great. But I just want a document of this great band that we can have forever and sharing it together as one community and family. And we will talk Spoon for as long as we both shall live.